Do you ever just look at someone and you just know? You know that you guys are made for each other. Well, it's no exception in the social media marketing agency game. And that is why in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys what I look for in an ideal client, what I look for in a dream client for my social media marketing agency. I'm going to be sharing with you what I look for when I'm doing lead sourcing, also what I'm looking for when I'm hopping on a sales call or a demo call with a prospect, and also some of the personality traits that make a business a dream prospect for my agency. So I'm very excited for this video because I see a ton of agency owners, they go into the marketplace, but they don't really know what they're looking for. And the problem with that is that if you don't know what you're looking for, then you're probably not gonna find it. And so by the end of this video, you guys are gonna have actionable strategies and literally a filter that you can use for hundreds and thousands of prospects so that you find the prospects that you're dreaming to work with. And so without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing that I'm looking for in a dream client is when they watch a YouTube video that adds value to them, do they smash the like button or do they not? I don't know, it's a weird thing to ask, but it's definitely much appreciated. So don't forget to smash the like button on this video. It helps out a ton with the algorithm. I'd really appreciate it. And with that being said, let's go right into the first point. The first stage of finding your dream client is in the lead sourcing stage. As an overall idea, the way I like to do my lead sourcing is instead of going one by one qualifying all those leads, I like to go to places that have already qualified the leads for me, because not only is it way more time efficient, but I've also made sure that that place shares a common filter as I do. So for example, if I'm looking for quality fitness brands, if I go to a reputable blog or magazine that features fitness brands, then they've already done the qualifying for me because they see those brands as qualified enough to be featured in a top magazine. The problem a lot of agency owners share is that instead of going to a qualified place that already does the qualifying for them, they go one by one. And that is just a massive waste of time. Once I have a list of qualified brands, I like to do a little double check before reaching out to them. And here is what I'm doing in that double check. The first thing that I take a look at is the content and the creative side of things. Do they have a website that is congruent to the brand image, that has a luxurious look, and most importantly, is it optimized? And secondly, I take a look at their creative assets on their social media, on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on their Pinterest, even wherever they're posting, because that's going to give me an idea as to the type of assets that my team and I are going to be able to use to run ads for them. The second thing I take a look at is, are they running Facebook ads, or are they actively doing the service that I'm offering to them? For this, I go on their Facebook page, then I take a look at page transparency. I see if they're running ads, and if they're running ads, I like to take a look at the ads that they're running. Pretty much 90% of my clients were already running ads before we signed them, which probably goes against everything you've heard in the space, which is if they're running ads, then they're good. Don't reach out to them, right? I actually completely disagree with that, because if they're already running ads, number one, it's clear that they see the value in Facebook ads because they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're actively investing into it. And number two, if you can clearly show them how they could be making so much more money from their total investment, that is much more powerful than trying to get a brand that hasn't run any ads to see the massive potential of Facebook ads, because this other brand is actively losing money by not having this investment be as optimized as it should be. So that is my first filter, and now onto the second filter. My second filter takes place on the sales call or the demo call, whatever you want to call it. And here are the two things that I'm looking at. Number one is proof of concept. Do they already have customers? I've had a few calls with startups here and there. And so for those brands, they didn't really have customers, but they had a proof of concept because maybe they had launched a Kickstarter campaign and they got a lot of funding. So most of the prospects that you jump on a call with, they will have had customers. This gives you really valuable data as to what they've tried up to now, what are some of the traffic sources that they've tapped into, what is the cost of acquisition, for example, what are the conversion rates on the websites, and all these data points help you form a better idea as to the difficulty of getting results for this prospect. The second thing I'm taking a look at is their profit margins. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to calculate the break-even ROAS. And it's a very, very easy calculation. The calculation is very simply 1 over the profit margin. So let's say that your prospect has a profit margin of 50%. That would simply be 1 over 0.5, which gives you 2x ROAS. That is the minimum return on their advertising investment you would have to get them to be profitable. Obviously, the closer to 1x, the better, because then it's easier to make them a lot of profit, but a 2x break-even ROAS is not even too bad. However, you start running into problems when it's below 40%, 30%, 25%, and really anything below a 30% profit margin is really, really hard to make profitable with Facebook ads, unless it's a super trendy product that is an impulse buy. So those are some of the numbers that I'm taking a look at to see whether this prospect is a dream prospect. And with that being said, let's go right into the final filter, which is personality traits. When it comes to the third point, which is personality traits, I'm taking a look at two main things. Number one is, do they understand that this is a partnership? As an e-commerce agency, you are responsible for the growth of the business, which I think is very, very exciting. You're literally responsible for making them more money. For example, I'll leave here on the screen a client telling us that we grew their business 228% versus last year. That really pumps us up. And for that reason, your clients need to understand that this is not some outsourced job that they can just forget about and never look at. Obviously, I'm not saying that they're gonna work as hard as you do on it, but they need to be engaged. They need to be involved in the decision making. They need to be involved. They need to be responsive, because there's a lot of things that we run past them. Ideas, ad copies, creatives for approval that they need to approve quickly so we move forward and we grow very fast. Throughout my experience, I found that those clients would just kind of put their hands up and say, oh, well, it's your job, don't ask me, right? Those are not the right clients if you're looking to build a hyper successful e-commerce agency. And the final thing is, are they ready for growth? This was honestly mind-boggling to me when I started out in the e-com space, but we noticed that there were some clients that weren't ready for growth. We were getting them incredible returns. It was time to scale the ad spend. They had the resources to do that. They were either scared to take the risk or they were scared of growing too fast. My point is, before you start a partnership with a client, understand the objectives and the goals that they have in mind. Where are they actually trying to get to? What does success look like for them? That will give you a much better idea as to what they value. For example, we had a client who wasn't so interested in the sales side of things. Obviously, they wanted to be profitable, but for them, it was more about establishing brand authority and really getting a ton of eyeballs on their brand. Obviously, that's usually going to translate into sales, but that for them was what success looked like, because they were making the transition from retail, where they were very, very successful. I'm talking about multi-millions every single month, to e-commerce, where they had to establish themselves as an authority over other brands who didn't have the track record that they did on retail. So those are the three filters that I use to find my dream client for my e-commerce agency, and the filters that you can do to do so as well. Now, my final point that I want to leave you with is something that I've already mentioned in the channel, but when you start out, you don't have to be as picky with these filters that I just mentioned. Remember, these are for dream and ideal clients for your agency. When you start out, you should be optimizing for volume. You want to get as many clients through the door, because that's going to give you a ton of experience and it's going to teach you a ton. And that is going to be transferable knowledge and skills that you're going to be able to apply for these ideal clients. So that is the final thing that I will leave you with. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash the like button. It will help a ton with the algorithm, and it helps me stay motivated to pump out more content for you guys. Also, leave down below any comments, any questions you may have on this video, and I'll be sure to check those out. If you haven't subbed to my YouTube channel, there's so much content coming out on entrepreneurship and a 360 approach to social media marketing agencies with a specific focus on e-commerce, sales, and outreach. So if you don't want to miss any of that, go ahead and sub to my YouTube channel and hit the little bell so you don't miss any uploads. And the final thing is, if you haven't checked out my free Facebook mastermind, the Client Closers, it's an incredible community full of like-minded people looking to scale their agency and level up in life. We've got a whole family of winners, the best social media marketing agency family in the internet, and that is a fact. So go ahead and check out the link in the description. Go ahead and apply, and if you're a good fit, we will let you in. And as always, guys, hope everything's going well in your journey, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.